Awareness is not something that you find in books. It is not learned through lectures. It is something that must be lived, sensed, experienced. It is not about knowing what is happening. It is about realizing why it is happening and how you respond to it. Most people move through life with their eyes open, but their spirit asleep. They see everything around them, yet they do not see themselves. They feel things deeply, yet they do not understand the root of those feelings. That is why the very first step toward any real change in life, any genuine transformation, must begin with awareness. To be aware is to begin to wake up. Just like a person lying in bed at the break of dawn, eyes still closed, somewhere between dream and reality. You begin to sense the light before you open your eyes. You begin to feel the morning before you rise. That is awareness. It is the bridge between sleep and action, between ignorance and wisdom, between being lost and finding your path. So when I say congratulations, if you see this before 16 July, what I am really saying is this. Congratulations, because you are awake enough to recognize the message before the moment. You are aware enough to sense the importance of this pause. And that pause is powerful. That pause is the gate. You see, many people will walk into the 16th of July just as they walked into the day before and the day before that. Without reflection, without intention, without awareness. They will not notice the shift in energy, in spirit, in timing. They will not prepare for what is changing because they never stopped to ask themselves whether anything needed to change. But you, if you are hearing this now, are already different. Because life is offering you a mirror before the test. You are being shown your own reflection before you are asked to prove your strength. But here is the truth. Awareness is not always comfortable. In fact, most of the time it is painful. Because when you become aware, you begin to see the patterns you have lived in for years. You begin to recognize how much time you have wasted. You begin to feel the weight of your own choices. You begin to observe the thoughts that you have allowed to control you. And that is not easy, but it is necessary. To transform, you must first see clearly. You must see what habits are keeping you small. You must see what fears are keeping you frozen. You must see what lies you keep telling yourself to avoid growth. And when you see it all, not with judgment, but with clarity, you take your first step toward real freedom, because the moment you are aware, the chains begin to loosen. You realize you are not your past, you are not your pain, you are not the thoughts in your head. You are the one who can observe them, the one who can change them. Many people ask me, how do I become stronger? And I always say, first, become more aware. Because a person who is not aware will repeat the same mistakes again and again, even if they are surrounded by the wisest teachers. A person who is not aware will run in circles even if they are given the clearest map. But a person who is truly aware of their emotions, their thoughts, their energy, their impact on others, this person begins to walk the path of mastery. To be aware is to feel the energy in your own body when you are about to react. To pause before you speak. To listen more than you talk. To recognize that every emotion is a teacher and every challenge is a mirror, and it is in that stillness, in that space of observation, that true transformation begins. Imagine this. A warrior preparing for battle does not wait until the fight has begun to sharpen his sword. He prepares in advance, in the quiet, in the calm. He studies the wind, he listens to the silence, he feels the weight of his own breath. That is what you must do now. You must sharpen your awareness before the day arrives, before the challenge presents itself, before life tests your strength. You may wonder why the 16th of July has any meaning, but it is not the date itself, it is the symbolism. It is a line drawn in the sand, giving you time to wake up before life demands your attention. It is a chance to shift before you are forced to. Most people change when the pain becomes unbearable, but the wise change when the whisper arrives. The whisper is here. The signal is here. And if you are hearing this now, you are already receiving it. But awareness must go deeper than the mind. It must reach your behavior, your daily choices, your routines, your voice, your attitude. What are you tolerating that you should have released long ago? What part of your life is calling for your attention, but you keep ignoring it? What area of your soul is dry because you stopped watering it? These are the questions that awareness brings. And if you can sit with these questions, not run from them, not distract yourself, not numb yourself, then you begin the process of inner evolution. The problem is that we are raised in a world that celebrates doing, achieving, rushing. But awareness is about stopping. It is about slowing down enough to notice what is real. And that goes against everything this world promotes. So you must be strong. You must be willing to feel uncomfortable, because to wake up is to leave behind the comfort of unconsciousness. But I promise you, once you taste awareness, once you experience life fully awake, you will never want to go back. And there is something else. Awareness leads to responsibility. Once you see, you can no longer pretend not to. Once you understand your part in your suffering, you cannot blame others anymore. And that is why many people avoid awareness. They do not want the responsibility that comes with it. They want to be victims. They want to remain asleep so they can stay innocent. But innocence is not the same as ignorance. And staying asleep is not peace. It is avoidance. The warrior, the monk, the awakened one, they do not avoid life. They meet it fully, with open eyes, open hearts, open hands. So now I turn to you and ask, what will you do with this awareness? It is not enough to listen to words. You must reflect. You must take action. You must change your relationship with your own life. This means waking up earlier, sitting in silence, observing your reactions instead of justifying them. It means becoming aware of how your energy affects the room when you walk in. It means noticing how your habits shape your future. The 16th of July is coming, and for some, it will be just another day. But for those who are aware, it will be a doorway, a turning point, a moment of remembrance, a spiritual checkpoint. And if you have the courage to look in the mirror before the world demands it, you will cross that threshold with clarity and power. So, congratulations if you see this before the 16th. It means your spirit is listening. It means you still have time to align, time to awaken, time to prepare. Not just for the challenges of that day, but for the deeper path you are meant to walk. Do not wait for life to shake you awake. Wake yourself. Do not wait for pain to force growth. Choose growth. Do not wait until the storm arrives to build your strength. Begin now. Begin with awareness. And as you continue your journey, remember this: the most powerful transformation does not happen in one moment. It happens in the consistent practice of awareness, day after day, breath after breath, until one day you realize you are no longer the one who reacts. You are the one who chooses. You are no longer the one who sleeps through life. You are the one who walks with purpose, with vision, with grace. That is the power of awareness. That is the first gate. And you, my friend, have already placed your hand upon it. Now walk through. Preparation is not something you do when chaos has already arrived. It is not a response to fear. It is a commitment to readiness. Most people in life wait until they are in pain to change. They wait until life breaks them before they decide to become strong. They wait until everything is falling apart before they try to build themselves up. But the way of the wise, the way of the disciplined, is not to wait for the storm to arrive. It is to prepare when the storm to arrive. It is to prepare when the storm to arrive. It is to prepare when the storm is still clear. That is the difference between a reactive life and a conscious one. You do not build a house during the thunder. You build it in the silence, long before the storm ever shows its face. There is a calm before every shift, a quiet stillness before the wind begins to howl. Most miss this silence, dismiss it, or even waste it. They live in distraction, filling the stillness with noise, unaware that the silence is the teacher, and the stillness is the training ground. But if you are aware enough to see this message before